Hi, welcome back to Danny Harris Arts. In this part 4 series, I'm going to be painting. So as you can see, I've already got the piece sealed and gessoed. I did that off camera just because it's just a plain Jane. Sealed it with a 50-50 lacquer thinner mixed. Let that set overnight, and then I give it a good coat of gesso, just plain old white gesso. So I'm going to get ready to paint here, and appreciate you watching. If you have any questions or comments about the process, you can leave them for me in the comment section below. If you're new to the channel, I'd appreciate it if you consider subscribing. So let me get started. Okay, so a few of the colors I'm going to be using is, and these are Deco Art brands. Again, these are from Hobby Lobby. So I'm going to have, I got some silver, and then raw umber, and an olive green, and then I have a splendid gold, and then I'll also be using some, this is Createx paint, and this is a pearl, it's pearl white, and then I have some black. So I'm going to be doing a little mixture of all these. I may add in something here and there just to kind of get the feel for what I'm doing, but I'm going to start off using this silver, and I'm going to coat the whole thing. I don't have my reference photo out here. I'm not sure what happened to it, so I'm gonna have to go off memory or pictures I have on my phone, but I'm basically going to coat the whole thing in silver. And some channel catfish are a silvery gray, some of them have a bronzy, almost golden bronze hue to them along with the silver. So I'm going to put just a little, it's going to be mostly silver with a little bit of the bronze in it, and then I'll start layering colors on top of it. So let me get started on that. And I am going to be using my airbrush here. Okay, so I'm going to start out using silver, and I'm going to mix a little bit of that on my palette. I got just a paper plate here, and I'm going to start out by mixing it here with the reducer. And if y'all seen my reducer, DIY reducer video, I make my own reducer. So I'm just getting it down to an ink-like consistency. And you're probably not going to be able to see this right off the bat, what this looks like. So you probably can't see this silver going on. But it is. And I'm just kind of concentrating down the side because I'm gonna layer colors over the top. This wind make it kind of hard for me out here today. See, I don't think you can see that silver going on. But I will be layering more colors over it. This is just kind of a base. Okay, so now I'm going to do some pearl white on the belly. And I'm just going to mix that right in with, on top of the silver. I'm not going to bother cleaning the airbrush out. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is channel catfish some of them have little spots on them, and I'm going to scatter a few on here now and then layer over the top of them so they kind of fade into the background, and then as I get finished towards the end I'll do some more on top of the layers to bring them out a little bit more, but this will just kind of give it a depth to it. And I'm just going to be using this little tiny Q-tip here to apply those, but I'm just going to mix a little bit of a raw umber with black, and these are going to be very, very light. So I'm just going to, I need to look at some reference photos here real quick. Give me just a second. I'm going to go overboard with it because some of them and some from individual to individual fish, they're kind of sparse. So I'm just going to kind of do a few here and there. Like I say, these will be covered up with layers of paint, and then I'll add more to it later. So I'm not doing a lot. You can see just a few here and there. And let's do some on the other side. See, I'm not doing a lot. Barely see them on there. Let's do one or two up here. Okay. Now I'm going to mix a little bit of a gold to start laying in just a tiny bit of a gold color here. And it's actually going to be kind of a grayish gold. So let's see, let me get the gold out here. Okay, I don't know if you can see that or not. The color's coming across, but what I've done was I took the gold and I added just a little touch of the raw sienna and a little bit of green, olive green, to it to tone it down. So it gives it just a little bit of a bronzy flavor. And this is going to take very little. I'm just going to do very little into here, and just a light glaze color to it. Alright, load the brush, load the airbrush. This is not going to take much, like I said. And I'm winging this, guys. I've never painted a 3D carving of a catfish before, so this is all new to me. I'm just kind of going by what my feel for it is. I hope that's showing up on camera. It's just a real light glazing. And I turned the air compressor back down a little bit so the paint will kind of spatter just a tiny bit. Because if you look at the skin of a catfish, it's kind of spattery. Okay, so I got the gold on there. As you can see here, I'm going to put a little bit of make a little bit of a grayish color now with the gold, and I'm going to layer it on some more. Except I'm not going to use that. I think I'm going to use this Inca gold. It's not quite as intense as the other gold. And I'm just going to be using, again, a little bit more of the green and brown on it, or raw umber. I'm just going to make a little darker flavor, a little darker color, a little more to the green side. I may actually want to gray that down just a little bit with some black. I don't know if that's showing up here or not. I think that's looking good. And again, this will have just real light layers, a real light wash. Okay, had a little airbrush trouble there, had a little clog in it. I think I got it now. But I'm just taking that dark color now, and I'm just going to come down the top. Already out. Let's make some more. Stand by. Alright, here we go. Shooting these gills at an angle so it'll kind of build up on the back of the gills. All right, it's starting to take shape here. I need to go a little darker, a little less green on the top. So I'm gonna mix up a little bit darker color here, and be back with you here in a second. Okay, I mixed a little bit darker color. And I'm just gonna kind of come around here and do some little highlights on the fins. Start adding these whisker stone. All right, I've got all the soft washes on it that I want. Now I'm going to go back over it with some just a little bit of highlights here and there with some pearl white, and that'll kind of gray it down just a tiny bit. It'll still have that little bit of a gold bronzy sheen to it, and then I'll have to paint the eyes, and I'll just be about done with it. This is kind of an easy paint job. All right. White in here. I think what this white's going to do is it's going to give it just a little bit of a it should give it just a little bit of a slime coat look. That's my goal anyway. All right, that turned out pretty good. I am going to what do I need to do now? Need something else. I think I'm gonna airbrush some highlights on, just dry brush some highlights on, and then I'm going to put some I think I'm going to put some pigment powders in, just a tiny bit of blue in here, or an aqua green, just a tiny bit, just to give it just a little bit of a shimmer, a little bit of iridescent glow. All right, I think that's, let me get it in the light where you can see it, in the outside light where you can see it better. In the sunlight, it looks better in the sunlight than it does in the, under the lights here. All right, I know you can't see this on camera. I don't think it's going to show up good, and I say that all the time, but I've got some this iridescent turquoise. It's kind of a color shift from a turquoise to blue-green, and I'm just going to do some real light washes on there, just kind of give it a little shimmer in some of these lighter areas. You probably won't even be able to see it unless you're in person or out in the sunlight. And I'm just dry brushing a little bit on some of these lighter areas here. It'll just give it just a tiny bit of an iridescence. There, okay. I know you can't see that, but it's there. And you might be able to see it a little bit. So now I'm going to paint the eyes, and I'm going to start out with just doing a little silver over the whole thing. And I'm gonna let these dry because it's a real thin coat, and then I'll go over it with another coat. So I'm gonna let that dry a minute, and then I'll come back and paint the irises in the sclera. All right, I'll let that dry a little bit, and then I'm going to put some UV resin on that and build those scleras up. So I'll be back when I get that. I can't show that because my UV light's inside and I have to go back and forth on the light, so I'll show you the results after I get it done. Okay, that's going to be it for the channel Catfish wood carving project. Overall, I'm happy with it, being it's the first one I've ever done. There's a few little technical minor issues that I would do different next time. Not completely 100% happy with that dorsal fin. I think I could have done a little better on that, and next time I will. I'm happy with the way that the whiskers turned out. After looking at it, I think I should have made the top whiskers and the ones on the chin just a little bit skinnier, and but overall I think it looks fine. I like the way that polymer clay makes them look natural, but overall I'm happy with it. I think it turned out nice. All I got to do now is get the habitat base built for it, and it'll be ready for sale. So if you're interested, send me an email and we can talk about it. But other than that, my next project got coming up is going to be a rainbow trout, and going to be doing a little bit different setup on that, and I won't tell you about it now, but you'll have to see when I come to it. It'll be interesting. I think you'll find it interesting. And then later on the summer, I'm probably going to be doing a bluegill, and then I also got plans to do another catfish, but it'll be a flathead catfish and much larger, probably about 3 times the size of this. So, but I appreciate y'all watching. If you have any questions or comments, you can leave them in the comment section below. If you're new to the channel, it's the first time you've been here and you like these videos, I'd really appreciate it if you consider subscribing. But I appreciate y'all watching, and I'll see you on the next project.